Hi everyone, it's Kate from the Fold Line. I am back this week to talk all things sewing bee. I'm sorry I was away last week on holiday, but I am back now. Many of you will have seen that Rachel took the helm for a week. I said that we weren't going to do a video just in case she filmed it and it all went wrong or she wasn't happy, so we just thought, say there isn't going to be one and then it's a nice surprise for anyone if there is one. So yes, but I'm back from a holiday and I'm ready to talk patterns. So last night was a 1930s theme. They had 3 challenges as usual. The first challenge was to make a pair of 1930s, was it 1930s? Or, no, I don't think it had a date, like a pair of classic sailor trousers. I don't know about you guys, but I hadn't ever seen the construction like that before. So the obviously they've got the kind of 3 buttons down the front, and the bib that folds down. I didn't realise that this sort of under bib kind of buttoned up. Really complicated. Definitely the sort of thing that I would have screwed up under pressure, I know. So I thought they all did a really good job. So we've had a look for patterns. I've got 3 options actually because I couldn't find anything perfect, but, well, not perfect, I just thought they're all slightly different. They're not exactly the same, so I thought I'd talk about all of them and then, you know, you've got them there. So the first pattern to talk to you about is the Pauline Alice Romero trousers and shorts. I'll show you the line drawing so you can see. These were probably the closest. The difference with these, if I show you the line drawing, is it's got the buttons up the front, but the buttons continue along the waistband, which was slightly different from the ones that were featured last night. I think these are really sweet. I love the shape of them. I also think the short version of these would be great, especially at the moment in the UK. It's very, very warm. So yeah, but these were pretty close. These were probably the closest we found. The next pattern I've got to talk to you about is the I Am Patterns More Trousers and Shorts. I popped these ones in because these have the same feel as the pattern last night, but this construction of these is so much simpler. So if you're more in the beginner camp and you fancy trying some sailor trousers, I think these are probably the ones to go for. So if I show you the line drawing, you can see that actually they are elasticated waist, so the fit is a lot easier. They have, I think I was trying to work out whether there was a seam down the centre front or whether it's just a pleat. Oh no, I think it is, maybe it is a seam. It's quite hard to tell on this actually. No, I think it is. So they've got a seam down the centre front, which almost makes it look like the pleat, and then you pop 3 buttons on. So they don't have the bib fold down, the sort of like almost like a fake sailor option. So those would be great, I thought, if you're like more in the beginner camp. The final one we've got, which are really beautiful pattern, the Pattern Union Hannah Culottes. I'll show you the line drawing for these so you get an idea. So they've got the buttons up the front, they're very wide leg, they've got the pockets, they're high-waisted, and you can see at the back they've got quite a lot, they've kind of got big darts kind of folded in pleats down the back, sorry. And they're quite a dramatic shape. You can make them and have them without the buttons down the front as well if you wanted, but those would be another really great option, and they look quite vintage as well. So those are the trousers. The next one, the upcycling challenge, was turning 2 shirts into a 1930s blouse. It was 1930s week, not vintage week, it was 1930s week, sorry. Head's all over the place today. Yeah, so the next one was making the blouse. I thought this was a really interesting challenge and I thought they did fantastically. It's actually really nice as the weeks go on that the upcycling, I feel, is becoming less crazy. So everything they made last night was actually completely wearable. And I thought it was a really interesting challenge. So the last challenge, the made to measure one, was making a sort of 1930s red carpet dress. And the kind of key feature of it was having a bias cut dress, which for any of us that sew, I felt a bit sick when they told me that that's what they were doing last night. That is so difficult to do. I don't understand how they get it done in the time. I just felt very stressed watching it. I don't know about you guys, as the weeks go on and the challenges get hard, I can almost not bear to watch it because it's so stressful. And yeah, I thought they did incredibly. Like, the quality of the makes were just amazing. So I'm going to start with Brogan. We were actually very lucky last night, I will not lie. Quite a few of actually all of the patterns kind of popped up in the distance, and we could do a bit of freeze framing. So these are definitely, all of the patterns are correct this week. No guessing at all. So yes, Brogan. So she made this pink 1930s dress, really beautiful shape. It had these sort of chevron panels running down the front. Very difficult if you don't get the grain on this completely correct, because of everything has a slight shimmer. You'll just be able to tell. We found the Vogue 8814. This one is, yeah, it's bang on. She did version, I think the version A, yeah, she did. It seemed like she added a little less, not quite as much fullness at the bottom, but maybe that was just the fabric. And anyway, but this one was right. We definitely saw this one. It's actually a really beautiful dress. So if you've got an occasion, this could be a really nice option. So next up, we had, quite hilariously, two of them were using the same pattern. So Mani and Annie were using the same pattern, which must be so annoying when you got there. I mean, how many vintage patterns are there and you turn up and someone else is doing the same one as you? Especially because it's quite an unusual one. So this one is a vintage one. It's from an Etsy store called My Vintage Wish. I'll pop a link to it down below so you can go and have a look. And I'm assuming that this is a vintage pattern that they've made into a printable download, I'm assuming. They've got actually really amazing stuff on there, so if you really like vintage, definitely go and have a look at their shop, because I was quite flabbergasted by the quantity of stuff they've got. So yes, this is the pattern. It's gorgeous, that kind of crossover detail and the big sort of, I don't know, the like bit of fabric hanging off the back was just so beautiful. So that was them. Right, next we had, who was next? Deborah. So Deborah's was the Vogue 1697. Hers, again, we spotted this, so this is definitely right. So beautifully made, French seamed all on the inside. She cut out a panel incorrectly and had to recut it. I felt so stressed for her, and she was kind of sewing right up to the last minute and I wasn't sure she was going to finish, but it was so beautiful. I thought hers, I don't know, out of everyone's, I thought she should have won Garment of the Week actually, because I just, the handling of that fabric is so difficult. It's like a satin crepe. It was just, oh, but I thought hers was so incredible. Yeah, beautiful. And she's so interested in it as well. Like, I love hearing her talk about the clothing. She should definitely be on camera. Does anyone else think she should get her own show? Because the way she talks about stuff, I'm always so engaged. So anyway, that's another one. So yeah, the Vogue 1697, that was bang on and correct. And last but not least, we had Christian, who used, well, excuse me, had Christian. The thing I felt really sorry for him is I think he didn't understand, or just, you know when you get the brief wrong and you're sort of doomed from the beginning. So he had used a pattern, it's a vintage one, it's a Butterick 5710. Again, this is available on like Etsy and eBay and stuff, so you can still pick them up. But it's essentially made with a stretch fabric. So he used a jersey, a velvet jersey, which, let's be honest, makes your life a hell of a lot easier when you're making it. But there's no bias on a jersey in the same way that there is with a satin or a silk or like a woven fabric rather than a knitted fabric. So I could see already as soon as they saw what he was using that he was slightly doomed because he'd just screwed up the fabric choice. But his dress was really beautiful. The finish on it was a little dodge because he kind of got to the end and freaked out. And I, again, found it extremely stressful watching him finish. I don't know if anyone else did. But yeah, this pattern is completely right. We know it's a really beautiful pattern. I think they should bring it back. It's really great. And yeah, I thought the model looked fab in it. So that is it from me. We are on next week is the semi-final, so we'll be back with more pattern options. The videos are getting shorter because there's less people now. So yeah, but we'll be back next week with another video. Have a lovely, lovely week. Bye.